Hello everybody, my name's Chef Michael Roddy. Thank you for joining me here at Eggs Up. Today we're going to talk about a traditional Caesar dressing using our pasteurized safest choice egg yolks. And we'll talk about some of the wonderful qualities of that. But first of all, I wanted to give you a little bit of education on where did Caesar salad come from. Some of us don't know. So Caesar salad came from a wonderful Italian-born chef named Caesar Cardini. So he was able to pull together these various ingredients that compose our traditional Caesar salad dressing, take it out tableside, and whip together this wonderful dressing that we now almost on a daily basis is being enjoyed by most everybody around the world. So here we are bringing it to you today. Going to recap a couple of our dressings, or a couple of our ingredients in our dressing. First of all, we have our olive oil that I like to not use a super extra virgin olive oil, just a mid-range, because an extra virgin olive oil gets a little strong and overpowering in the flavor profile. Then we have, of course, our safest choice pasteurized shell egg. We're going to use the yolk from that. Then we get into our Dijon mustard, of course, garlic, fresh lemon juice. Lemon juice comes out of lemons, not out of plastic bottles. And then we have our anchovies. We're going to use a couple of anchovies in there. So, and then of course some salt and pepper as well that we'll add into our recipe as we go. First thing we want to do, traditional Caesar salad, being prepared tableside. Think about that. A lot of times we don't see that happening any longer because there's a lot of liabilities that revolve around Caesar salad being prepared tableside. But when using a safest choice pasteurized egg yolk, there's no we are now eliminating the liability that goes along with preparing and serving that raw egg to your customers. Because by pasteurizing it, we actually eliminate the chance of foodborne illness causing bacteria being associated with that egg yolk. So you see I have my garlic in the bowl. A lot of people like to add a little bit of salt to that, a nice coarse salt. It gives you a little bit of friction, gives it something to actually hold on to itself in the bowl so that it allows us to mash a little bit easier. Of course, this is the traditional way, mashing it with a fork in the bowl. If you have a garlic masher, feel free. Might make your life a little bit easier, but we're here to show you the traditional way as prepared by Caesar Cardini. So as we're going there, anchovies are going to be my next ingredient. So adding the anchovies, your recipe says 1 to 3 anchovies. I'm going to go in with 2. We'll make it a nice happy medium for everybody. Some of you don't like anchovies. Some of you don't know that you'd like anchovies because you love Caesar salad dressing, but you'll say you don't like anchovies. So that's all right. So here we go with our anchovies in the bowl. We're going to continue mashing this all together. A lot of you probably know about anchovy paste. It's going to make your life a little bit easier as you wish. You know, again, traditional style is what we're doing here. So the other ingredient I'm going to add is a little bit of mustard. Get this mashed up a little bit more before I add the mustard. And what we're doing is creating an emulsification by making Caesar salad dressing. So just like a mayonnaise, we're going to be combining things that don't typically like to combine. So when we do that, the egg yolk acts as an emulsifier, but also the Dijon mustard is going to act as an emulsifier as well to keep the oil and the liquid suspended and combined together. So I'm going to now add a little bit of the Dijon mustard that's going to continue to help me really turn this into a nice paste. That little bit of liquid in there will help it break up some as I'm mashing it. So as you can see, we're pulling this into a nice little paste. And that's the start of our process. Now, what we're here to talk to you about is our eggs. So we're teaching you Caesar salad dressing, but our eggs are really the key to this. So with the egg, safest choice pasteurized shell egg, being pasteurized, I'm going to crack this for you. I like to crack my eggs on a flat surface. And in doing so, just going to use the egg. Separate it, run it back and forth in the shell to remove the whites, and then I add the yolk into the bowl. And you'll notice that I am, first of all, wiping my hands with a paper towel, but secondly, I haven't used gloves. So that's, again, one of the great things of our eggs no longer being a potentially hazardous food like other eggs because they're pasteurized. So now I've got this wonderful little mixture of egg yolks and garlic and anchovies. And what I'm going to do now is start to add the olive oil. I have it in a nice pitcher, makes it easy to pour. Make sure I get all my wonderful flavored ingredients in here. Have a nice little flat whisk and I'm going to tilt the bowl on the side. First of all, it centralizes everything into one little area, but also it's going to help you to maybe see it a little bit better. So as I do that, I'm going to slowly drizzle the oil. Some people have a hard time because we're pouring with one and mixing with another. So you test your dexterity in doing this. And what we're doing is slowly adding in the beginning, very, very slow, because what we want to do is, first of all, establish that emulsification. This is the critical point of the emulsification, just the initial drizzle. So we're always drizzling as we're mixing, and we're always mixing as we're drizzling. Each yolk will take about 6 to 8 ounces of oil. And again, that's going to be up to personal flavor preference. It's going to create a balance, so it depends upon what you're looking for, but also the proper amount of oil is going to give you the proper presentation. So at this point, what I like to do is to show where we're going. We have nice stiff, you can actually hold it above your head. So we can turn this over and have a wonderful emulsification. And as you can see, it's nice and stiff. So as it's getting this stiff, what I want to do is start to thin it out a little bit. So the thinning it out is going to allow us to continue creating that emulsification. The lemon juice is going in, a little bit of lemon juice. Another key little trick for everybody is that we can always add more, you can never take it out. So if I don't have enough lemon juice in there at this point, I can always add some more. If I have too much, I can't take it out. The only thing I can do is then add more oil to try to offset the acid. All right, now after tasting and adjusting the seasonings on our Caesar dressing, using the salt and pepper, make sure it tastes good, because one thing that's going to happen is you're going to put it onto lettuce. It's not going to have a lot of flavor. So you want to make sure that you're adding enough flavor in the dressing so that it's not getting washed out by the lettuce. The other thing that we need to do is consider the quantity of the dressing that you made, and you may or may not need to use all the dressing in your bowl for the portions that you're going to make. And the other thing, as I said, you can always add more. So if you need to add more dressing, you always can. So I have dressing in the bowl. I'm going to go and add the chopped romaine into the bowl. And that's the first step in the process. So after we get the romaine in there, we want to toss it. As you toss it, it's coating the lettuce. So before we add cheese and croutons, if you want them in there, we coat the lettuce with the dressing so that all the other ingredients connect to the lettuce and actually flavor the lettuce. So you can get yourself a nice little coat of dressing on your romaine. I'm going to add in some croutons, a little bit of shaved Parmesan cheese. And can you always save some of these to garnish with as well? Now I'm going to come in and plate up a wonderful little salad for you. Some wonderful various colored cherry and grape tomatoes on there for some color. Nice fresh cracked pepper on top. Give you a little bit more garnish and contrast. And then if you did want to finish it with a little bit more Parmesan cheese, some nice strips right on top. And here we are with the finish and wrap up of our traditional Caesar salad made popular for you by Caesar Cardini. Thank you very much for joining us with this episode of Eggs Up. We look forward to having you again.